Good evening. Good evening. Come into the Jaye Spot, replacing your G Spot every Thursday from 6 to 7, giving you real relationship talk, real relationship drama with the best night of your life. Your host, Jay and Simply E, hold on, get ready to enter the Jaye Spot on IntellectualRadio-Com.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the best night of your life. Woo! You have entered the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families one conversation at a time on IntellectualRadio.Com. We are an iHeart station. I'm your host, you all, Jay. Thank you all so much for allowing me to join you on your ride home as you help the kids with their homework, as you cook dinner, as you go through your man phone, as you sit up there and good evening, Queen, somebody else outside of the person that you with. Thank you all for allowing me to join you as you do all those things and then some. Guys, we have an amazing show lined up for you today. Please do me a favor, go right now. Go to our YouTube channel, like and subscribe our YouTube channel, the Jaye Spot Radio. Go to our Facebook page, like and follow us there, the Jaye Spot. If y'all want to get in on a little behind the scene action, join us with grown and sexy conversations with the Jaye Spot. Go to Instagram, like and follow us there, the Jaye Spot. Jay is spelled Jaye for all three. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We have a great show lined up. Listen, our first hot topic. Now, let me know what you all think about this and what would you do in a situation like this? You're getting married, okay? And you're at the wedding, getting ready to say your vows. You have not even, listen, the pastor has not pronounced you all man and wife. And your husband to be looks up and notices your ex. That's right, your ex in the audience witnessing you get married. He finds out while you all are there in the process of going through your nuptials that you invited him, your ex, to your wedding. So he calls the wedding off. He's like, listen, no, we're not going through with this. What do you all think about that? Is he wrong for calling the wedding off? Is he wrong for saying, you know what? This, no. If it was that important for you to have dude here, listen, you can miss me with that. Because once he looked up and he saw old boy there, he was like, no, big dog. No, to the no. We ain't doing that. What do you all think about that? Was this guy, was he wrong for calling his wedding off right there in front of the preacher, the pastor, and everybody? He said, not so. Not today. Won't be me. Do you all think that he overreacted with that? Or do you all think that, you know what, listen, he did right. He did what he should be doing. He called the wedding off. How dare you have your ex up in here? It's a side button. How dare you have your ex up in here at our wedding and did not tell me anything? Thank you. It didn't tell me anything. He looks up and he sees her ex sitting out in the audience as they about to get married. And he says, you know what? Listen, no, I'm not. Nope. I'm not going. You can miss me with that. And he called the wedding off. Was he wrong for that? So it's a few ways to look at it. First of all, he's not wrong. Okay. Here's why. Because if she would have had a conversation with this man beforehand to let him know that she intended on inviting her ex, then she would be married, because he would have told you flat, he would have told her flat out in her face, no, you cannot invite this dude over here. We will not be playing those type of games. No, you cannot invite your ex to the wedding. Furthermore, what person in their right mind would want to invite their ex to their wedding unless they have become like really good friends? And still, even that, I don't see how people would be comfortable with that. Like, an ex is an ex is an ex, and I don't think that in good taste, in good, in good conscience, that should even be taking place. Like, no. So was he wrong for calling it off? I don't believe he was wrong. I would have acted the same way. And to be honest, I think he's a little better than me, because baby, I would have told that whole reception up. I would have been throwing cake and flowers and garter belts and all this other stuff. I would have been throwing everything up in there. Let me look up and find out he has his ex out there, because it's just like, we would like to say, oh, well, no, he did too much. He could at least talk to her. But think about it. If the shoe was on the other foot, and if he invited his ex, if he invited Big Booty Judy to the wedding, your mama and the whole bridesmaids party would have been jumped. Big Booty Judy, listen, you wouldn't have had to call it off, because it'd have been so much commotion from you jumping over. You'd have jumped over the broom, over the pastor, over the ring girl, over the flower girl, just to get over there to Big Booty Judy. So was he wrong for calling the wedding off? No, we just have to move better. Now listen, you all. Speaking of moving better and wives and husbands, listen, every now and then you all know that I have to teeter in a little celebrity news, a little celebrity gossip. Now, you all, let me say this. I love me some Tyrese. Okay, I'm gonna start off by saying that. I love me some Tyrese. God doggone it, God darn it, I love me some Tyrese. But you know what? Tyrese, Tyrese stresses me out, you all. Every time Tyrese is in the news, or every time, Tyrese just makes my blood pressure rise. And here's the latest of Tyrese making my blood pressure rise. Now, what do you all think about this? Tyrese is saying, he says, I need, and his words, I need. He says he needs a wife. He needs a wife. He needs a woman that is going to cover him when he's broken. He said, I don't just need a wife. I need a woman who can cover me when I'm broken. Tyrese, Tyrese doesn't listen, if I could, Tyrese, let me just talk to you heart to heart. If I could get Tyrese to listen to anything that I say. Tyrese, with all due love and respect, I just from what you show us, because I don't know him personally, but just from what you display, I don't know if you need a wife. You need, a little bit more therapy and a little bit more counseling, with all due respect. Because you all, Tyrese is a character. I never know when he is serious and when he is just putting on a show. But I will tell you one thing. Tyrese cannot cry. I need Tyrese to stop crying. Tyrese cannot cry at all anymore. Now, let me make this disclaimer. I'm not saying that men cannot cry. I'm saying Tyrese cannot cry. I am sick of Tyrese crying, because Tyrese, to me, it seems as though, and this is just me, just looking at, some of the stuff that, Tyrese is involved with, Tyrese creates, these situations, and he puts himself in these delicate situations, and then he want to cry. Then you want to get on live and cry, and then think we're supposed to have look, I don't have any sympathy for that. I'm tired. Like, Tyrese, stop crying. Any other man, you can cry. Feel free to cry. Any other man besides Tyrese. Tyrese, his crying privileges have been revoked, okay? Because he's like the dude that cries wolf. Every time you turn around, Tyrese crying, but then he cutting up, talking crazy somewhere. I decided he talking crazy. Tyrese, with all due respect, you don't need a wife. He needs a really good therapist, and he needs some good friends that's gonna pull him to the side and be like, yo, dog, look, you tripping again. Like, seriously, dog, you need to chill out. He needs some friends that's gonna tell him that, because sometimes, listen, people get all this money and then you can't tell them nothing. Can't nobody tell them nothing because they Tyrese and you got all this money and please, I can replace you. I can buy you. I can do this. I can do. That's why you crazy. See that right there, because people are scared to tell you something because don't nobody want to ruffle your feathers. You know why? Don't nobody want to ruffle your feathers and they walking on eggshells? Because you're crazy. See, when people walk on eggshells and they scared to say something, that is you. They're scared because they know you are a loose cannon. So right now, I'm going to say this, probably a good year or two. First he needs to start off. This is what I would say. He should start off with probably a 60 to 90 day inpatient stay somewhere where they could just take real good care of him, maybe 24-hour care, talk to him, help him sort out what his problem is, because it's evidence and it's apparent that it's some stuff going on. Like, it all don't just, it don't really connect. Everything don't really connect as it should when we talking about Tyrese. So honestly and sincerely, I think that he needs to talk to, somebody that's professional, somebody that you're not going to threaten their credentials. And he should talk to Dr. Umar Johnson. That's who he should talk to. Please, Tyrese, let Dr. Umar Johnson be your life coach. Can't nobody say nothing bad about Dr. Umar Johnson. Can't nobody say nothing bad to me about Dr. Umar Johnson. You better say something bad about your grandmama wig or somebody else, but you can't say nothing bad about Dr. Umar Johnson. Tyrese, get with Dr. Umar Johnson. He will help you get yourself together. He gonna tell you like it is, because you need to talk to a strong Black man that's gonna help you to unravel all of this stuff that's going on here and all of this stuff that's going on here, because he's dealing with a lot, and I don't take it lightly, and I'm not making fun of what he's going through emotionally. But I laughed when I saw he said that he need a wife. Brother, no, you don't. No, you don't. You don't need to damage not another woman. No, you do not, honey. You do not need a wife. You need the Lord, therapy, and a prescription. You do not need a wife. Right now, you do not need a woman. Right now, you need to just chill and just work on this and work on this. And then once all of that starts to come together, then once you're whole and healed, then, start looking for a partner. But again, this is just from the stuff that is being displayed on social media, because again, I don't know Tyrese personally. I just know what he's showing us. Just like you don't know me personally. You may say, oh, she talked too much, or she may have been. Well, I do talk too much. I have a tendency to talk too much, but that's what I'm displaying on these here tubes. So that's all you have to go on. So all we have to go on is a trail of damaged women that he's left behind, and a whole bunch of tears. So Tyrese, with all due respect, and I love him as an artist, I love him as an actor, he's very talented. But do I think that he needs to be looking for a wife? Not right now. You better find you some an inpatient facility, some doggone well. But a wife is not where you need to be looking right now. So that's just my non-professional, unwarranted, unsolicited opinion. That's just what I feel about the situation. But you know what? I'm saying it to you in love, though. For real, Tyrese, I'm saying it in love. Like, I think that you need to, somebody need to help you. You need to talk to somebody. And it ain't about getting no wife. Don't go over there going to now one of these janky bootleg pastors, which will bring us to our next hot topic. Janky bootleg pastors. Now listen, you all, I'm going to say it because it needs to be said. And I'm going to say it because I'm from the church, and I'm going to say it because people are afraid to say what I'm going to say because they think that they're offending the Lord. But I'm so sick of these bootleg pastors. I am sick of these bootleg pastors. And the latest bootleg pastor that goes under the title pastor, Marvin Winans. Listen, with this month, Lord, if you don't help, Lord, help your people, because this, I'm going to tell you, if you've been brought up in church and you've been brought up in real church, you'll know that this foolishness that they're doing, this is not church. That is not God. That's these people out here playing with God and playing and acting. They have God-like complexes. This is not God. Jay, how you going to say that? What are you talking about? Pastor Marvin Winans, and I'm going to use that title lightly, very lightly, because I respect the title, I respect the position, and I respect pastors, I respect the cloth, I respect the faith. But you have to be able to call out a sheep, and you have to be able to call out a fraud and a phony when you see one, so that people don't get discouraged. Because when people see stuff like this, the first thing they'll say is, see, that's why I don't go to church. We just had some foolishness like this at the beginning of the year with who was it? Marvin Sapp. The same foolishness with this money. What is it with these people that's asking for these ridiculous amounts of money from people in the church? You're asking $2,000. God told me to get you $2,000. Sir, go in your bank and you listen. Give every member $2,000. Why y'all got your hands out for these people? They ask for the most ridiculous, absurd amount of money from these people, and you know they don't have it. And then you lie to them and get their hopes up high, making them think that the Lord is going to bless them if they give you their last. That's not the Lord. You're not doing the Lord's work. That is not the Lord. The Lord know what you can do. You're supposed to pay your 10% tithes and offering. You're supposed to do that. The Lord, why do the Lord only tell the so-called pastors? Why is the Lord only telling you that you're supposed to give $2,000 or whatever absurd amount that they're asking for? Why? Listen, the Lord work like this. If you got it, your $1,000 could be only $10 because that's all you can do, and you sacrifice to give that. It's not how much you give, it's the sacrifice that counts. So please, you all, stop falling for this stuff. And it was just so sad because they brought the lady up that Marvin Sapp, I'm sorry, not Marvin Sapp. Marvin Sapp was a few months ago. Pastor Marvin Winans. See, listen to these Marvins. Pastor Marvin Winans, he checked because she said he didn't. They said skull. I'm going to say check because that's exactly what it looked like to me. So I'm going to say, according to my perception and where I perceived it, he checked this woman in the church. She brought a $1,200 check. And he told her, he's like, this ain't what I asked for. And she was like, Pastor, I know that, Pastor, just as humble as she want to be. He was like, you didn't follow what I told you to do. I said 2,000. She was like, well, trying to say it, humbly, I'm a little light. I'm going to work on the other 800. So he goes into this tangent about, see, y'all not listening. Y'all not listening to what I said. And going into all of this, I would have said, you know what? Well, all due respect, Pastor, you know what? You right. You didn't ask for $1,200. I would have took my $1,200 check, took my grandbaby, and we would have rolled right on up out of there. But she didn't. She walked away humbly, and that's why she gonna be blessed. But ma'am, Miss Roberta, or whatever your name is, please get from up under that type of teaching, because that's not God. I mean, these people, they have people so captivated because they got all these riches and all of this other stuff, but you're not even helping the people of God. They're using you all. They're using you. They're lying to you. They're taking the money. I'm looking at, listen, all these building funds, all of this. If I see another building fund, listen, I know pastors, they paid off churches on the back of the mothers boards and this and that. And I always thought like this. I said, okay, if you can get these people to raise all of these tens of thousands of dollars every Sunday, every Sunday, thousands and thousands of dollars are coming through the church doors. Why is your congregation still poor, broke, and starving? Why do you have to give out Easter baskets and Thanksgiving baskets? If your house is blessed, then why are your people not blessed? Why are you not sowing that money back into the church? Like, people, like, listen, I've seen with my own eyes mothers give their last money for things, but then be so sad because they couldn't afford their medication because it was the Mother's Sunday and they had to give $100, and they didn't want to look bad, so they gave their last $100 and they can't go and buy their medicine. And I'm just like, ma'am, you do know that that's not the Lord. You do know that the Lord know that you ain't got it. That's the thing that people got to understand. God knows exactly where you are. It's the man that is putting that pressure on you. You're supposed to do your 10%. And guess what? If you don't have it this week, God will forgive you. And guess what? You can make it up when you get it the next time, because God knows your heart. Whereas these false shepherds and these wolves in sheep clothing, how they're leading people on, I just think that it's unfair. But what I will say is, do not let that keep you from going to church. Hey, Sparkle, you're saying, remember Creflo? These crooked, yes, I remember Left-Low Creflo. Yeah, Left-Low Creflo. All of these people, these big churches like that, it's just like, I don't even know, like, I don't really feel comfortable even calling them churches, because then it's like, I feel like I'm doing a disservice to real churches, to real pastors. So what I'm saying is not an attack on real pastors and real churches. This is an attack and a call out to these businessmen that are pimping from the pulpit. This is what this is about. This is the businessmen and the businesswomen that are pimping from the pulpit. You pimping these poor people out their money. And, listen, I'm going to tell you, these services, a lot of these services in these big churches are orchestrated. This stuff is orchestrated so doggone bad that it just makes me so sick when I see it, because it's just like, when you when you come from a real church, you know the difference between the real service versus an orchestrated service. An orchestrated service is everything that's done for show. An orchestrated service, listen, God and God and God and the Lord told me. Listen, look. Okay, look. Now, unless the Spirit of God is in there, you listen. God ain't, stop trying to do that to lean on people's emotions. It be so much. Choose wisely who you follow. It's your responsibility. You have to pray that the Lord reveals the spirit of discernment to you on who you should be sitting up under. And that's all I'm going to say about this. I'm going to get up off of it because I don't want people to be getting offended to think at no shape, form, or fashion am I bashing a real church. Listen, I'm gonna take it back to Bone Thugs and Harmony. We not against rap. I'm not against pastors, but I am against them thugs, them thugs in the pulpit pimping these people. I'm definitely against them because they are giving real churches and real pastors a bad name. Now, with that being said, do not let the foolishness that Pastor Marvin Winans was doing, don't let that be the reason where you be one of those. See, that's why I don't go to church. That's why I don't go to church. Listen, I'm going to stop you right there. Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. Now, here's why I'm going to stop you. That man you with done cheated on you 5 times and you done forgave him. Okay? The man before that cheated on you, but you didn't give up on men. You went and you found you another one, okay? Hopefully this man do right by you, okay? So if you didn't give up on men, don't give up on God. This chick, she done creeped off with your best friend. You dumped her and you got you another one. If you didn't give up on these chicks, do not give up on God. Just because you done came across a bad one or two, it does not justify you saying, "Oh, well, see, now I'm justified in not going to church." No, you're not. No, you're not. You just justified in not going back to that church where you found out there was some foolery going on. You justified for not going back there, but you're not justified for not going back to church. So get yourself together and let these people listen. If you see this type of foolishness and you know they not right, let it go and find somewhere else. Find somewhere else. A lot of these churches, these good time churches, see, when you know, I'm gonna tell you how you know you in the right church, because you're gonna actually learn something. You're gonna learn how to live right. You're gonna learn how to do things the right way. Now, I'm gonna say this: you may listen, coming from when you in a real church, I'm gonna tell you, 9 times out of 10, if you in a church that teaches, you're not gonna always walk out the church feeling happy. You know why? Because 9 times out of 10, the pastor gonna say something that the shoe is gonna fit you. It's gonna fit you. The pastor will be saying something like, the Lord is calling you out of whoredom, and you up in there with the same clothes on that you done had on last night at the club. They ain't specifically said your name, but they gonna be preaching a sermon that's going to make you get a little uncomfortable in your chair. You're gonna be antsy, and the Lord has called you out of wearing them hooker clothes. The Lord has called you. See, they'll be saying something a little bit like that. They're not going to point to you directly. They're not going to say, but the word is going to start messing with you because you're guilty of what they're saying. That's called teaching, you all. Listen, Jay, how do you know? Listen, I can tell you, I've been in the pastor's office a time of two for listen, now I done been, listen, I never got mad, and I always, because I know when I'm wrong. I done been called to the pastor's office too many times. Why? Jay, tell us a few reasons why you done been called to the pastor's office. Well, okay, so one time I had got called to the pastor's office because I had on a hooker red wig. Yeah, baby, I wore that whole wig up to church, baby. And yes, I was called Sister Vance. I'm like, and all I could do was sit up there and think, what I'm trying to figure out, what the heck am I getting called to the office for? I had to go back down. I had to go to the thinking, I had to say, okay, I ain't said nothing because I'm telling y'all, listen, I was known for saying I don't feel like it was the wrong thing, but the pastor told me that, I probably shouldn't be talking to the brothers like that, but it was somebody else's husband. So I was just kindly sending the deacon back over there to his wife, okay? But I didn't say it nicely, but I redirected the deacon's traffic a time or two. And the word, I didn't cuss, but I could have probably said it in another way, but I felt like I was keeping a home together because, what are you over here sniffing around somebody that's not your wife? So that's all I was saying is, listen, look, you sniffing in the wrong area. I don't play that, sir. Okay, I don't play all of that. So take that over there to where they need your little take that over there to them. I'm not her. So I've said that a time or two, and they people get caught up in these titles. So sister, can you come to the office, pastor's office, deacon such and such, and elder such and such. I said, oh, pastor, yes, I did it. Whatever they done said, yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. Can you tell them to stay over there where they supposed to see? You should have had them in here, not me. I'm the wrong person. I'm the victim in this. When you having these married men, trying to slither behind, me. You look. One guy, I had to tell him, I said, sir, with all due respect, you don't make enough money. You don't make enough money to take care of your wife, your kids, and then give me money. You don't make enough. You don't make enough money to be over here trying to do all of this. You don't make enough money. I'm sorry. So stay over there with your mediocre wife and your mediocre kids. Stay over there. That's where you safe at. That's where you should be. Now, should I have said it like that? Probably not. Would I say it again? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I have no problem with that. But yeah, then I got called, like I say, for wearing this red wig to church. Oh, it was so cute too. I thought it was the cutest thing. And the pastor come, talking to me, sister, I said, heck, every time they start off with my name like that, I'm just like, oh God, this is gonna be. And I just sit back and I just listen. I just be like, pastor, you right. You are absolutely right. I definitely apologize for wearing this wig up in here. You know what? Now that you brought that to my attention, you know what? You are absolutely right. I apologize for that. You won't see this wig again. And guess what? I didn't wear the wig to church again. But baby, listen, I was hot to trot outside. Listen, you ain't say, listen, you look, Monday through Saturday, listen, me and that hook and red wig, baby, woo, we had some times up in there. But come time to go to church, didn't go back up in that with that wig on. You know why? Because the pastor asked me not to. And again, I respect pastors. I respect the position. I respect the church. Like I said, I try to respect some of these other people, but don't come. If you come cross-eyed, then I'm going to get cross-eyed with it too. But as long as you stay on a straight and narrow, then I'm on a straight and narrow too. But please do not let this Marvin Winans situation stop you from going to church and stop you from supporting a real church, because again, all churches are not like that. And how you're in a good church and you're in a real church is because you're going to learn something. You're going to learn something that you'll be able to apply to your life so that you can grow. Each time, if you're going to church every Sunday and you ain't made no changes in your life, are you really going to the right church? Like, are you really going to church, or are you just going to just, show off your Sunday's best? Because again, if you are in a real church, Jay, what you mean a real church? What you mean all churches? No, if you are in a real church, a church that teaches, a church that don't care about the word hurting your feelings, because guess what? That's what it's there to do. It's there to correct. And again, most of these churches, especially a lot of these big churches, they don't teach. They just tell you about prosperity. You know why? They want to make you happy, keep you happy so you could just be giving all your money, cash shopping and all of this. Yeah, the Lord gonna bless you. And they got you all excited, baby. You done transfer, you done Zelled your mortgage over. You done cashed up your car note. All of that because they teaching you all of this prosperity stuff. Every Sunday, it's about prosperity, prosperity, prosperity. And I get it. God will prosper you. But it's also some things that you need to teach me how to live in this corrupt world. And not only teach me, but I need to see you doing it, because you can't be sitting up here telling us not to fornicate and you fornicating, cater foreigning, and all kinds of stuff. Listen, you got all kinds of loose women. That's what they used to call them back in the day. Got all these loose women running up and through, sniffing all up behind you. Got all these loose women up in here. You can't be up in the pulpit and then think, I'm going to sit up under that. I'm personally not going to be able to sit up under nothing like that. Oh, well, he's just a man. He's just a man. God forgive him. God forgive him. Yes, he has to sit down, though, until he get himself together. You cannot be sitting up there having all these babies with these women in the church, and then y'all sitting up here, yeah, the Lord, but God, who are we to judge? We can't, only God can judge him. No, I'm not judging him. I'm pointing out this bull junkie, and you, sir, are foul. That don't got nothing to do with judging. You know why? Because it's the truth. You listen, people like to say judging, everything is judging. You judge me, judge me. Listen, some stuff ain't about being judging. It's just not. Here's how you know it's not judging. Sir, do you have a baby? Are you married? Yes. Do you have 2 kids with 2 choir members? Yes. That's not judging. That's a fact. That's a fact. And you, sir, you need to sit down and you need the Lord to work on you, because you spreading your seed through the church instead of spreading the message and the word of the Lord. You spreading your seed, sir, through the church, and the Lord don't like that. And again, somebody need to say it. We're going to stop being afraid to call these people out. You know why? Because they are putting God to an open shame, and they are causing people to not want to go and be saved and live right, because they live in jacklegged and bootlegged, and people scared to say something. Well, guess what? I'm not scared to say anything, because I have my own relationship with the Lord, and I know right teaching. I've been brought up in right teaching. So I know that a lot of this stuff that they doing, you're not scaring me with this because you asking for all these people money. I'm not scared for that, because I know the word, and I know that you are out of order, with all due respect, sir. So please do not let this foolishness that these people be doing with all of this prosperity stuff. You all don't fall for it, you all, because again, it's like it's so much that is going on, and people are just doing all kinds of crooked stuff, you all, just all kinds of crooked stuff. So you just have to be so mindful. But again, when you are going to church and you're picking a church, one of the first things that you should look for when you're in a church and you're looking for a church and you have a church, and you going consistently, you're going to learn something from being in church. And guess what? It don't always feel good. Understand that. If you go to church every week and every week you come out church and you just feeling good, like, yeah, we gonna get this. I'm gonna get this car. I'm gonna get this. And the pastor ain't preached nothing that done ticked you off or done had you feeling uncomfortable. You might not be in the right church. You probably not in the right place, because when a pastor is preaching and they hitting that word and they teaching, like I say, that ish don't be feeling good. I ain't gonna sit up and listen. Like I say, listen. You are getting this firsthand, again, from somebody that stays The pastor know my name, phone number. Look, and I don't be blocked. I don't block it. I don't ignore the call. When they call, I answer. I'm like, this ain't my first time being called to no pastor. And listen, bad thing is, it's been a couple of pastors that done got called in a couple of offices. So I know. Guess who the problem is? Bingo. But I know this. I tell them, look, pastor, and I tell them what some of my known problems are. I tell them beforehand, just so that we can be on one accord. Listen, let me let me go ahead on and set up a meeting with the new pastor, so I can just introduce myself to the pastor, so the pastor can already know who I am and what some of the things that I'm gonna probably be getting called into their office about. I'm gonna go ahead on and introduce myself, because I don't need nobody trying to tell on me. I can tell on myself. So I'm gonna introduce myself to the pastor. Listen, pastor. Yes, listen. Now let me tell you some of the things that I struggle with. So you're gonna have to keep me lifted up. If I got to come here, be with the mother's board, go to the mother Sunday school, and all this other stuff. I have to do that. But it's a few things that I know I need to work on. So I'm gonna tell you right now. So if somebody said, you already know. You know what? Yeah, she done. Yeah, she done came. She done came and told me. And one of my biggest pet peeves used to be when they trying to marry you off. Woo, Lord, I said I stopped visiting other churches, because y'all know that's what they do when they want to go to fellowship. They're supposed to be fellowshipping. You know what? Half of that, the agenda be to, that's your singles mingle. See, that's the single mingle. When you go to congregate and you go into fellowship with these other churches, why am I spending all the church business like this? Because I want people to know, that's why. But when you go to fellowship with these other churches, again, that be like the singles mingle and stuff like that. They be sending you over there. And listen, it's always, look, I don't have nothing against nobody handicapped or nothing like that. I don't have nothing against nobody older. But sir, if you've been married, you done buried 5 wives, and I haven't even had one husband yet. How did the Lord give me to you? He didn't know that. The Lord did not do that. I'm like, listen, I've seen some young ladies, beautiful young ladies, and they have ended. I'm like, girl, you could have just kept on sinning. Why did you why did you attach yourself to this old foolishness right here? Why did you get with this? You could have just kept on sinning and just repent, instead of now you with this old, ooh. Then they beating on them and all this other, trying to beat my auntie used to say, beat the youth out of you. He done had 7 wives. This your first husband. He got kids your age. And he done told you, the Lord told me he was gonna be my wife. The Lord told me you was gonna be my wife. I said, the Lord told me I was going to poison you if you don't get out of my face, sir. I will poison you. I will give you a double dosage of your dialysis medication. You keep on messing with me, I will, give you 2 shots of that insulin, or I'll take the remote control to your little insulin patch and I'll scramble the doggone password up. Keep on messing with me. Talking about the Lord told me that you was going to be my wife. The Lord... Sir, the Lord ain't said no such thing. I don't know what kind of evil spirits you talking to, but the Lord didn't tell you. Because if the Lord told you, he gonna tell me, because I'll be like, Lord, Mr. Telephone Man, there's something wrong with my line. Because the Lord ain't told me nothing. That's all I'm saying. So I'm gonna leave the church alone, because like I say, I love the church, I love the Lord, I love all God's people. But listen, the ones that's not God people, them ones, those the ones I got a problem with. And those are the ones that we are lightly exposing. So if you got something out this message, amen. If you didn't, amen again. But listen, guys, our next hot topic. Now, look, you all, again, y'all know that all the time, every day, it's just always some foolery going on in these internet streets. And this next hot topic is no exception. So this guy is saying, and I need, fellas, y'all got to let me know, what do you all think about this? This man is saying that the only thing that a man can get from a woman is some nasty hoo-ha. He says they could just do it to him, just the nasty, the filthy, low down horizontal mambo, the low down hoochie coochie. That's all a man can get from a woman. That's all a woman has to offer a man. That's what this guy, he's a podcaster, and he said this. What do you all think about that statement? Because when I saw it, I was just like, you know, if this guy, if he likes boys, I mean, sir, just say you like boys. You don't even have to go through all, like, we don't care who you choose to partake with. We don't care, we don't care about any of that. We're trying not to judge you. But what you're not gonna do is get on these internet streets and make it seem as though that's all women are good for. That's all a woman can offer. Because to me, what I heard you say was not even your mama and your grandmama was worth nothing. So only your mama and your grandmama was worth, all they worth is the hoochie coochie too. Because you said no woman. If you've been hurt, sir, or you like boys, just say that. And then just stop talking about women. Just start talking about what you like. But anytime I hear men go this hard on women, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, but that's why I'm asking you all. Let me know if he's saying that. Am I wrong for thinking like, listen, dude, if you like boys, just say you like boys. But the fact that you can fix your mouth to say that that's the only thing that men get from women is some nasty hoochie hoo, then, sir, like, I don't know what type of women, like, what type of people are you, like, what type of people are you being exposed to? Like, are you not exposed to, like, you've never met a good woman? Like, you've never, not even on a friend level, like, you don't have a good woman that's a friend, like, you've never encountered a good woman, even if she's not with you romantically. Like, this is the type of dude that needs a hug from an old school Madeir. He need a hug from a real Madeir that got them big, listen, that down south rack, the down south hooters that wear the duster. They got the cake flour and stuff, and the chicken grease stains and stuff. He need that type of woman. He need that type of woman in his life. Because when I hear men say stuff like that and they talk so aggressively against women, I'm gonna tell y'all, this is exactly this is I start thinking like this, and this is what I feel. I just, want to start breaking out and saying, get down, little mama, get down, little mama, get down, little mama, get down, little mama. That's what these dudes sound like. They sound like some little mamas talking like that. Only thing a man can get from a woman is some nasty hoochie hoo. Get out, little mama, get out, little mama, get out, little mama. Anytime, listen, that's what I'm gonna start putting under their post. Anytime I see a man going in that aggressively on women, that's what's gonna happen. Or I'm gonna be like, so if you don't like women, because that's all that women can offer, then when you gonna come out and tell everybody that you like boys? Can you tell us what man has tickled your fancy? Because if a man tickled your fancy, listen, he tickled your fancy. That's what you in. Listen, I don't got nothing to do with what type of traffic you let come through your back door. You feel me? That's this man's back door. Now, if you got all this traffic, I ain't look. My name is Jay. I'm not the one to gossip. And you ain't heard that ish from me. You just have not. But if you like boys, then just say you like boys. But it's like, we in a day and time where you can freely like boys and not have to go aggressively crazy on bashing women. Like, I feel like we're in that place. We're in a day and time where you can like whatever it is you like, and you don't have to go downing and bashing women, because when we do it, which I couldn't see myself doing that, because I haven't met all men. Now, are there some men out there that are not worth much? Yes, there's a handful of them. But I will say this, there are more good men than there are men that are out here playing these type of childish games. They are. So I would rather spend my time giving props and giving kudos to the good men that are out there, opposed to constantly feeding that energy and giving life to the negativity that is keeping Black men and Black women apart. Because again, I can promise you, this little mama that said that about women, oh, it ain't no good women, and women ain't worth nothing but this and that. I can promise you, he not the same. The way you treat a Black woman, I can promise you, when he get with a non-Black woman, I can promise you he don't act the same way. I can promise you 9 times out of 10. Again, and I've said this before, we don't act the same way when we date outside our race. And when I'm saying we, I mean y'all, because I don't date outside my race. So y'all don't act the same way that y'all act when y'all dating outside y'all race. Y'all, everybody on their best behavior. The men are on their best behavior, and women, I love us, but we be on our best behavior too. Because listen, when you out there with this pink man, you ain't out there twerking and wearing all these hooker clothes that you wear when you with your Black dude. You not doing that because you're trying to impress him. You not talking all crazy, talking about some, if he want to be with me, he gonna pay my bills and he got to pay the girl. Shut up. I'm so, ooh, Lord child, I'm so sick of hearing that. And he got to pay this and he got to pay that. Whew, the time you spend telling these dudes what they got to pay and what they got to do, you could have been up off your behind and had a job and doing whatever it is that you need to do so that you can take care of yourself. Listen, Jay, so you saying that a dude ain't supposed to do nothing for you? Well, let me just tie that in to our next hot topic. And y'all let me know what y'all think. So our next hot topic, the guy, he's saying, if ladies, he said ladies, because he specifically said, if you are not physically, sexually attracted to a man, you should not be accepting money or gifts from him. Ladies, y'all heard, I'm going to say that again. Listen, hold on. I got to sip on this. Yes. Child, if I could talk and sip at the same time, I would be dangerous. This man, child, I got the tea over here. Y'all scoot on up because I got the tea. This man said, ladies, if you are not attracted to that man, do not accept no money from him and don't accept no gifts from him. Now, I don't know why he allowed the devil to use his tongue like that. I don't know. But when I read it, I instantly started rebuking his foolishness. Okay. I said, listen, I rebuke this foolishness that you are out here spewing in these internet streets. I rebuke this foolishness. What are you talking about? If she's not sexually attracted to him, she should not be accepting any money or gifts from him. Listen, if she's not sexually attracted to you, then you shouldn't be giving anything. But don't you dare try to stand in the way of the things that the rest of us get. Don't you dare. You know what that's called? What that's called, sir? That's called player hating. That's called cock blocking. He's a player hater and he's cock blocking. We will allow no such foolishness over here, okay? We will not allow that type of talk. Because I rebuke that. I rebuke that. If he offers, why should I not accept it? Does that mean that I'm on? So you guys got to understand, and y'all got to listen. You're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. Because for those that agree with this, then you will be supporting the, oh well, that's just a form of prostitution. If if you accepting money for being with you. So that's because that's exactly what he's saying. He's like, listen, if you're not gonna hook yourself out, then you shouldn't be accepting nothing from this man. And sir, again, I rebuke your foolishness. I rebuke everything. I rebuke you for even letting the devil ride your tongue like that. I rebuke the devil is a liar, and so is your tongue, sir. The devil, I rebuke all of that. If he decides to give money or a gift, then I have the right to accept that. Now, I'm not going to go asking you for any money or anything like that. But if he decides to say, oh, I saw this, I want you to have it. Hello? Why can't I have it? So I'm obligated to give you something. I'm obligated to hooker myself out because you gave me a nice gift. I deserve nice things. So, like, what? Are you, because I deserve it? Yes, I do. Are you obligated to do anything? No. We're not talking, this is not obligation. We're not, in no shape, form, or fashion is this conversation about obligation. It's about attraction. The post said, the guy said that if a woman is not attracted to a man, if she's not sexually attracted to this man, she should not accept any gifts from him or any money. And I said, the devil is a liar, and I don't know why he's letting the devil use his tongue like that. I stand on that. I stand on it. If a man, if she's single and he's single and he decides to buy her a gift and she's not sexually attracted to him, why can she not accept the gift? Now, I would not, again, I'm not going around saying, you got to buy me this, you got to do this, you got to do that. But if he thought about me, why can't I accept the gift? Why can't I accept what he's giving? Why can't I go out? Fellas, please enlighten your girl, because y'all know I can go, I respect y'all. I respect y'all. So y'all got to help me. Cedric, tell me, is this a wrong statement? Because I know I can count on Cedric and Mark. They typically, y'all can keep me on my toes. So let me know, am I looking at this wrong? Again, the brother says a woman should not accept a gift or any money from a man that she's not sexually attracted to. And I said the devil is a liar. If he's giving it, then he should be able to accept it. Cedric is saying that's solely on him. Thank you. It's an individual choice. It's an individual decision. And my individual decision is, if he decides to individually break me off a little something, then I'm going to say thank you very much. And listen, now I will say this. Let me come on, try to redeem myself, because I know I'm trash to some of you all right about now, but that's okay. We still gonna love each other. We love each other and we support each other. We love and we listen and we don't judge, okay? We don't judge. We don't judge, okay? We're not gonna judge. I take that back, y'all. We can judge, because I like to judge. Every time I turn around, I'm saying something crazy. So, we can judge. Just let's judge lightly, but just let's dissect this. Like Cedric said, it's solely up to the guy. If I got stuff, and I have been the recipient of some gifts or two, I have, from dudes that I have not been sexually attracted to. And they were nice things. So it's like you give me something, and I will say this. So there's a difference between somebody giving you something because they wanted you to have it versus somebody trying to woo you with their money. And I've been in that situation too. The woo you with their money type, like I'm done. Like there's no like you can't buy me because I'm like, if I know that I'm not attracted to you and I don't see you like that, like I don't care how much stuff you're trying to give me, it's not gonna change how I feel, and it's not gonna make me want to get close to you. Those type of situations, I do my best to avoid that. But if I'm not feeling a dude, every dude that you go out with, to me, I don't think that you're gonna be sexually attracted to. I don't think. So it's like if we're out, I don't gotta be sexually attracted to you to go out and have a good time. What I will say is the flip side is if you're talking, man, I'm this is the good one that they're using today. I date with purpose. I'm dating to marry. I'm dating for this. Then you know what? I can respect that. And guess what? If I know that I don't fit that and you don't fit that for me, then you know what? We have to go part our separate ways because I'm not about to be sitting here playing with somebody's emotions, playing and acting like I'm into you or I'm feeling you or I'm on that same wavelength with you when I know that I'm not with you. I will cut that off. But if we're just seeing each other, I don't have to be sexually attracted to you. And if you're buying me nice things and doing nice things for me, I'm gonna accept it until you make your intentions known. So again, if we're just out dating because we're having a good time and we like each other and we enjoy each other's company, then I can do that. I can totally do that. But if you haven't made your intentions known and we're just going out getting to know each other, run it. Run it. You can run the gifts, you can run the money, you can run whatever it is that you want to provide. He can run it. He can definitely run it, and I will gladly accept it. I will be right there with my baseball catcher's mitt, like, yep, boom, yep, catch it, boom, catch it, catch it, catch it. Am I wrong? Maybe. But I've kind of got used to that. So I'm just like, again, like to me, sometimes it just, I don't want to, look, some, it be the pressed dudes that sometimes this could be an issue for. And again, you shouldn't be out here doing all this dating and trying to spend all of this money anyway, like ration your pockets. Say, I'm not going to buy gifts or spend money on women that I'm not attracted to or the women that are not attracted to me. Let that be your rule. But don't go trying to put that ish out there saying that, women shouldn't be accepting gifts from men that they're not sexually attracted to because again, that really disturbed my spirit when I read that. I was just like this this Bama right here, he got the game. Look, now we don't want to be putting this foolishness out there. It's a lot of foolishness out there for us to contend with. But this bull junkie, now that look, you drew the line right there, baby. Listen, I felt like on Esther when he said that. Watch it, sucker. Watch it, sucker. Do not be putting that foolishness out in the air because again, if he want to do it, then he should be able to do it. Leo, you're saying I must like you to buy you gifts. Well, if I'm giving and she ain't giving, period. Again, so you gotta see. So is it transactional? Is it like, okay, well, I'm only gonna buy her gifts or buy things for her because I want something in return? Or are you the type of dude that say, you know what, listen, I bought this because I wanted her to have it. Like, if we get together, that's great. If we don't, I mean, that's cool too. I saw this. I wanted her to have it. Maybe I'm living in La La Land. You guys, listen, I told you I reside on Petty Island. So there are things that happen on Petty Island that may not happen anywhere else. And I'm okay. That's why we are talking about this. But again, I'm just going to shut that down. I want to rebuke that foolishness, and I want to rebuke the guy who put that ish out there. I want to rebuke his tongue and his fingers for typing this foolishness on this internet. So I'm going to rebuke all of that foolishness, because we are not going to co-sign on that foolishness. Just like you all don't have to co-sign on this foolishness with this next hot topic. Now, fellas, see, this is where I say I can respect this. Now, this is going to be outlandish, but you all, please let me help kind of let you see how I see it, and then maybe y'all will be able to digest it a little bit better. This lady says, and it's been several women that have been saying this, you have to pay her bills first before you take her out on a date. That's what she said. You must pay. The woman says, you must pay my bills before you can take me out on a date. That's what she said. Fellas, what do you think about that? And ladies, what do you think about that? Do you all feel that this sister, she got the right idea, saying that, you know what? Before she will go out with a man, he must pay her bills. That's just that, to take her on a date. She said, you got to pay her bills. Now, fellas, I would say this. I would say appreciate and respect a chick that says this. Here's why. Hold on. Just follow me. Appreciate these chicks. You know why? Because it helps you sort through the bull junkie. Like, if she's saying this and you know you not with this, that saved you time, headache, money, and everything, because she's letting you know what she's about. So you can quickly sort through that, and you can quickly bypass her because she's not what you're looking for. Opposed to her not saying it up front, wasting your time, because this is what she really thinks, this is what she really believes, and this is what she really wants. But now she's wasted your time. You've taken her out, and now you're starting to court her and whatever it is, and then boom, she hits you with the, oh, if a man want to be with me and spend time with me, he got to do this, X, Y, and Z. See, now you done wasted all your time. See, you done wasted time. But if they tell you this up front, you win, because you get to just go right on past. I'd be like, baby, sorry to hear that stupid ish, and keep it moving. No harm, no foul. No harm, no foul. But y'all gotta understand, fellas, and I know y'all don't want to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I've seen it. If it's not for you, and this is why women are doing it, it may not be for you, but I promise you, it's some dude, and it's more than one dude, that will do just this. They will do just that. So you got to understand, that's who they're talking to. When you start hearing and seeing stuff like that, you got to just be like, oh, okay, she ain't talking to me. Like a lot of this stuff that they say on the internet about women, I'm like, oh, I don't get bent up out of shape about it. Because listen, if it don't stick, listen, let it fly. If it don't stick, people are saying so much crazy stuff. You have to stop letting everything take you out. She said it. This is what listen, maybe it's just in her dream. Like, some of these little kids still believe in Santa Claus, and Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to be hurting no little kids. So let me scratch that kids because I don't want to steal your innocence. Let your parents talk to you about that. But some people look like they believe in the tooth fairy and the Easter bunny and all this and that. She believes that this will happen. She believes that a man will definitely have to pay her bills before he takes her out. And when she finds that, then listen, I'm not a player hater. I'm gonna ask him, girl, where you found? He did. What you just said it like that, or just see, listen, I try to be a student of the game. I'm not a player hater. I just try to be a student of the game because I believe you shouldn't have to reinvent the wheel. So I will sit in your class and figure out what are you doing and how can I perfect that craft. Okay, I'm just saying. Now, Cedric, you saying she can kick rocks. She ain't worth a Maxwell cheeseburger to me. Cedric, not even a Maxwell cheeseburger. Now that's low right there. She ain't even worth a Max, so she can't get you to get her a Maxwell cheeseburger before you take her out on a date. Cedric is saying, enjoy your life and be blessed, as it should be. Like, so that's why I say I don't see why the fellas are getting upset when some women say stuff like this. Let them say, listen, this is their dream. This is what they're dreaming. This is what they want. Leo, you're saying if I don't fit we must exit quick. LOL. Again, this is for me, like I like when dudes say the most outlandish things and say who they really are. I like getting that up front. I like getting the real you up front so that I don't have to waste my time. I don't have to waste my time putting on the good draws and the good bra and the good girl. I don't gotta waste my time with doing all that. Cause I'm gonna go out. But then, when I go out, listen, listen, we put the hooker clothes on and do what, walk like old hookers up listen, walk the stroll. Because that's what you do. We do that. But when you're going out on a date, you gotta fix this up and put this up and tape this up and make sure it's just too much. But when you're going out with your girls, anything goes. Anything goes. So again, don't get mad when the ladies are saying this, because you got to look at it too. It's only a certain type of chick that's saying this. It's only a certain type of chick that's saying this. And so when you see that, it's like, is that the type of chick you was even checking for anyway? Like, were you even checking for that type of chick anyway? So it's like, what are we getting our blood pressure all up high for people that we know good and doggone well we weren't checking for you no way. Like, you can keep saying all this bull junkie that you want, like, it's only in your dreams. Only in your freaking dreams would you get somebody to sit there and do all of this, pay your bills before taking you out. He has to pay your bills in order to take you out. Child, it don't get no better than that. Now listen, speaking of getting no better than that, this man says that, see, it's y'all notice the theme this week. It ain't been us talking crazy, okay? Notice the theme for tonight. The fellas are just, some of these fellas are just talking completely out the side of their necks. But I want to know what the fellas my real fellas, I want to know what you all think, because then that's going to help change my perception. So what do you all think about this? Is there any truth to this statement? This man says women give their best selves and prime years to toxic men, then want a good man when they're damaged goods on the clearance rack. Ooh, Child, he said a mouthful with this bull junkie. Let me repeat this ish. He says, women give their best selves and prime years to the toxic men, then want a good man when they're damaged goods on the clearance rack. Ladies, what do you all think about that foolishness? Fellas, what do you think about that statement? Let me know. Is there some truth to that statement? Y'all know, listen, I want to know so I can help the sister. So maybe I can translate this so that it can better be received. Is there any truth to that bitter dude statement? And I'm going to call it bitter dude until one of you fellas help me understand. You know what, Jay? No, that ain't bitter dude ish. Yeah, bro. He got a point. Cause I was gonna put him over there in get down, look, mama, get down, look, mama, get down, look, mama. I was gonna put him in the get down, look, mama category. But before I put him in the get down, look, mama category, fellas, I need y'all to let me know. Does this man is there some truth to this statement that women give their best selves and prime years to the toxic men, then want a good man when they're damaged goods on the clearance rack? First, let me just break down a few things because I need to separate a few things. First of all, who's on the clearance rack? Is it a certain type of woman? Like, what puts a woman, first of all, what puts a woman on the clearance rack? Is it her age? Is it her body count? Is it because she had kids or she had kids out of wedlock? Is it a divorced woman? Who's on the clearance rack? So that's what I want to know. Who is on the clearance rack? How do we determine who's on the clearance rack? Leo, you're saying, yes, it is some truth to that. And I'm not a bitter dude. Okay, so Leo, explain to me what part of this is true and how do you, like, give me some background. You got to help me connect the dots, Leo. Help me to connect the dots on that because you're saying there's some truth to that and I can respect that. What constitutes who's on the clearance rack? Cedric, you're saying that's cold-blooded, but it's actually some truth to it. Okay, so now y'all saying some truth. Tell me who's the clearance rack? So how do we determine a woman, like what puts her on the clearance rack and what makes her damaged goods? Or is she single by a certain point? Does that mean that she's dealt with toxic men and now she's ready to settle down? What constitutes the clearance rack? What constitutes the damaged good? Because here's the thing. First, let's just acknowledge there's more women than there are men, especially now that you got all of these alternative lifestyles going on. So you're going to have a lot of good women that are not on the clearance rack. They just haven't had a good man because it's so much. A good man is a hot commodity. It's a lot of good women, and finding a good man is like finding a good hairdresser, and you gotta keep them. Hope they don't move, hope they don't get sick, hope don't nothing happen to them. That's just how hard it is to find a good man, depending on where you are. So I want to know what puts her on the clearance rack, what makes her damaged goods, and what constitutes her giving away, or giving her best years to toxic dudes. Because what if she's just meeting the wrong dude? Don't mean that she wasted her years giving herself to toxic. So I want us to be able to identify these women that have given themselves, to the toxic men, and then now they want a good man after they've been placed on the clearance rack. That's the part that I need to understand. Cedric, you're saying her attitude and overall demeanor. So that's what will put her on the clearance rack. Her attitude and her demeanor. Is that the only thing that puts her on the clearance rack, or are we talking about, again, are we talking about single mothers? Are we talking about women over 35, 30, 35? I don't know. Women with a certain amount of kids, women with a certain amount of baby daddies, women, Cedric said attitude and demeanor. Is that the only thing that we're talking about that will put them on a clearance rack? So, Leo, you're saying some women do give their best years to dudes that treat them bogus and then want a good man. Straight clearance rack, Jay. So, wait, let me just dissect what you're saying, Leo. So, just because the dude is not good because he treat her bogus, but she love him. So she chose to love the wrong man and she chose to hold on to him. So she's to blame for that. So she chose to give 10 years to this man that treat her bogus, that don't do her right, because she love him. She finally get tired of it. Now she 30, 35. Now she's single. She's clearance rag because she made the decision to stay with this man for as long as she did, and he dogged her out. I don't know. So is that what we're saying? Clearance rag, women that are loving and stand with these men for too long, and they know that the dude ain't no good. How easy is it for you to leave somebody that you love? That's what I don't get. And I'm just playing devil's advocate because it's just like a lot of times we slap these labels and say, oh, well, good years, and they want to go with a good man. But I'm like, well, I look at it like this. How are you different? If you're single and you're the same age as the woman, couldn't the same thing be said for you? So you've wasted all your good years. You've slung that dong around all of these years, and now it don't work right. So is your dong on the are you on the clearance rack with your dong? Is you and your dong on the clearance rack? Or is it just the women? Or can we say people waste their good years on toxic relationships and then expect somebody good? But I to be honest, I don't believe either one of those statements. I just don't. I don't believe that people waste years on toxic stuff. I don't believe it. I believe that you go through people hoping that you find this. Now listen, I will say some people hold on and stay in some ish longer than they should. You have to learn when to let go, especially for women. Like a lot of women, we have to learn when to let go, because some of us will hold on to it. Just ain't no, it ain't just no turning back. You hold on to a dude that ain't trying to hold on to you, and you got to know when to let that ish go. Now I will tell you, now I know quite a few good women that have been in relationships, that are in relationships, that want marriage, and they still holding on, been in the game for a long time with the same dude, missing your childbearing years, giving all of that up because you holding on, hoping that he'll change his mind, hoping he'll change. Would you say that that's a toxic dude? Or would you say that, man, you know what? Listen, snap out of it. So I don't believe this. I believe that a lot of women get caught up in the fairy tale of these dudes' foolishness. Okay, I'm gonna put it like this. Listen, a lot of you dudes sell a lot of this bull junkie. You all sell a lot of these dreams to these women. Keep these women holding on to all this bull junkie, knowing good and doggone well you don't want her. But you're not gonna let her go until you find the next best thing. You're right, Cedric. It's definitely a two-way street. But we addressing the foolishness, what they said, what the women do, trying to make it seem like the women are holding on to toxic dudes. No, a lot of times, yes, this do happen. But a lot of times, let's be honest. Let's talk about the dudes that hold on to these women, that dangle that relationship, that dangle that ring and ish, that dangle the possibilities around. Because for most women, a lot of women, if you all keep dangling, they gonna keep holding on. We gonna keep holding on. As long as you keep, it's just like if you ever went to Florida, when they go to the what do you have? The crocodile pits, and you put the little thing, the little whatever it is, the little bait on the crocodile thing, and then you stick it down in there, and then they have to come up and snap up for it, and you put it up in there, and they snap up. That's what a lot of dudes do to women in these relationships. And then you try to make it seem like she done did something wrong because she holding on to your trifling behind. But you really are holding on. So when are men gonna start saying that part? When are men gonna start accepting responsibility? And I know I'm gonna get a lot of pushback from this, that you all, when are some of the dudes that do this, and it's not all men, when you do this, do you all ever take responsibility for stringing women along? Hold on, y'all, I got to get up for a second. This thing went off. Do you all ever take responsibility for stringing women along? The men that do string women along, do you all ever take responsibility for that? Or are we just going to keep making these blanket statements and making it seem like a lot of women are out here wasting their toxic years? I will say this, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Yes, there are some women that are out here that, I'm going to live my best life and I'm going to live my best ratchet life. But that's a small percent. I believe that that's a small percent. I know more women that have held on to the wrong dude than women that have said that has been their mission. I'm going to live my ratchet best life. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. There's a small percentage. The biggest percentage for me has been that I've seen, and I know a lot of women, and I know a lot of women, I know women that fall in a lot of these categories. But I've seen most of the behavior come from women holding on. And yes, they do waste their best years with the wrong dude, because the dude is dangling that possibility in front of them. They're dangling. And it's like, unfortunately, you would say, now at some point, listen, baby girl, if he has not put a ring on, if he ain't said nothing about getting married, what are you still holding on for? Okay. Why are you still letting him sell you a dream? And that's going to lead right into what we're talking about tonight, you guys. Should you live together before marriage? And the reason that ties right into it is because, again, when you know what it is that you want and you go into a situation and you alter what it is that you want, hoping that it'll lead you to the finish line. But that's not always the case. So when we're talking about, should you live together before marriage? Listen, you all, can I use this term? Can I use the old school term? Can I just call it what the old folk used to call it? Can I call it shacking? Living together, it feels so modern. It don't feel, old schoolish enough for me. So can I say shacking? Because I really like shacking. I really like the word shacking because I just like the way it sounds. Shacking. Just like how it sounds, like shacking. Just like it. Like it. I don't know what's happening with my live streams, y'all. My connection is going out up in here. But we have a lot of things to talk about when you're talking about getting married and wanting to be married and living together. We got a lot to deal with. Okay, we have to talk about, first of all, again, we're going to talk about shacking. Okay, shacking. Let me, y'all, hold on. I'm having some, my streams are going down. Hold on, turn this one off. Hold on, y'all, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna turn this one off because I'm losing this one. Oh, I done dropped out my streams and hopefully this one reconnects.